patient. So the first one we've got here is a lovely chap, one of my regulars. He comes to see me every 3 months, believe it or not, which it's quite rare that anyone needs to come that often. But as you can see, his ear canal is extremely narrow, and most are a bit like that. This one's a bit like that. It's extremely narrow, a lot longer than it is thin. Sometimes when you pull it out, it can start to get a little narrower. But it doesn't take much at all to block these up. These aren't huge chunks, as you'll probably see from the real shot later on. But as you can see, that the whole thing fills the ear canal. It's quite dry and quite hard. And yeah, it's not uncommon when you get a little bit older for them to get a bit drier and a bit harder, like to make dry skin everywhere. And when you get older, that tends to happen a bit more often. But this one just putting up a bit of a battle on the entrance there. But yeah, the other one's extremely similar. So we're just going to try and grab that a little bit from the top. I think I tried from the bottom, but wasn't getting it. I just hover over there. Hopefully the suction is quite powerful. So hopefully it jumps into it so you don't need to touch it sometimes. And that's come out really nicely there. Dropped it again. Thankfully not on the patient's shoulder this time. And picked it up, so you can see, like I said, even 3 months, it's gone really, really dark. And other side, exactly the same story. You know, this gentleman was off on a holiday pretty soon on a lovely cruise to the Caribbean. Not made me jealous in one bit. So I thought it was a good idea to get this sorted before you go, which you did. Now we're trying to get a few little bits on the outside there. It was a bit dry and a bit stuck, so I thought, you know what, let's just get the main bulk of the plug out, because it's not always essential to get every little last speck. And I say this because quite a few people comment on my videos and other ones I've seen saying, you missed a bit there, didn't get a bit there, why didn't you get that bit there? And the entire reason for an Earwax removal procedure is to cure the symptom, which is usually not being able to hear very well. And so as soon as you've removed that main bulk of the plug that's relieved the symptom, has allowed sound to pass through the ear canal to the eardrum to hear again. That's pretty one of the suction tubes, that's the main one. You'll see that. If that doesn't work on there, I'll put it on a still image. And that one is the fine end. It's absolutely minuscule. Now these are very sharp objects. Say for example, if you're in there and there's a tiny little speck left, and you spend ages right close to someone's eardrum trying to get it. If you're confident enough to do it, great, do it. You know, I'm not saying I'm not confident to get every little speck. I just don't see the need sometimes, because say for example, if you are in there, somebody who sneezes or coughs or suddenly moves, then you burst someone's eardrum, and they'll think to yourself, why did you do that? Why did you feel you needed to get that little last bit when there was actually no clinical reason? You'd already fixed the problem, so to speak. Why did you do that, you know? And I don't think I've mentioned this before. I only did it briefly, but I had a brief role working as a nurse, expert witness in the medical legal sector. Now what is that? Now those are people who, saying there's an incident of clinical negligence where independent expert to say, to look at the evidence and to weigh up the pros and cons and just come to some kind of conclusion as to, should this have happened? Why has it happened? What can you do to prevent it in the future? Like I said, I don't do it much anymore, but at all anymore, in fact. But they gave me a real appreciation of risk v benefit, because some of the cases you look at, you think, why did they do that? Was that strictly necessary? And something went wrong. Did it actually have to happen? Do you know what I mean? So that's the reason why we don't take every little last bit out. It's not necessary, and you put in the patient at risk, and you put yourself at some risk as well. Like I said, it only takes a little movement for something to go wrong, and you have to justify it from somebody. Like I said, a few little specks there, insignificant. A few little specks is absolutely fine. Can't be lucky in someone's ear, obviously. But yeah, like I said, it gives you some perspective on the reasoning behind why we don't take every little last bit out. Because you might well have to stand in front of somebody, might judge the worst case scenario this by the way, and they'll be asking you, why did you do that? If you can't justify it or give a reasonable explanation, then it's curtains. So it's really not worth it, you know. Sure, it might look good on some videos, but in my opinion, it's not necessary. But if you're perfectly confident to do it and 100% confident, then that's absolutely fine. So I'm not saying it's not okay to go and get a little less, but I'm just saying it's not always needed. So yeah, while I've been